So you want to be a YouTuber. Congratulations! So does 13% of American children, ages 5 to 8. But you're different. You're not making this channel out of excitement, you're making it out of fear. Fear that if you don't dedicate every second of free time to a potentially profitable endeavor, you'll end up dying of starvation or medical bills. Probably both. The global economy's crumbling, everything's terrifying all the time, and you've recently realized that you might be the tree fallen in an empty forest. You're feeling a little insane. But that's crazy. Your mind is perfectly normal. Everyone else, now they're crazy. And if those crazy people call you paranoid, they're either gaslighting or the first to die during bear attacks. Like I said, you're different. You're special. You know that you ain't gonna blow up overnight. Your goal is to slave away for 12 years until just maybe your channel might be worth something. And if you're stubborn, highly opinionated, and being honest, maybe just a smidge bit insane, then take a look into what my video production process is like, so you can flop just as hard as me. Welcome to Spamule Entertainment. 2 years of experience with nothing to show for it. Now let me be clear. As much as I love them, this is not a watch me sarcastically say the opposite of what you should do in order to understand a skill video. This is genuinely, or mostly genuinely, a look into how I work, why I do it, my progression over time, and how my experiences, good and bad, might be beneficial to you. But first, most of you probably haven't even made your first video yet. And if you're actually serious about this, you gotta start now. So if you're not willing to set a deadline for yourself, well then, I'ma be real, Chief, this ain't working out. But if this is truly something that you wanna get into, you've got 2 weeks. One to set everything up and plan out your schedule, and another to put the whole thing together. I'm guessing most of you have been putting this off for months or even years now, so 2 weeks, that's your deadline. And when you're done, I would love for you to post a link to that video in the comments, so we can all see what you have accomplished. And I promise, if you do, I'll watch it. Unless it's cringe, then I'll dip after like 5 seconds. But no matter what, I'll still leave a like and a comment, because the algorithm eats them up like honey chips. And if you've already made your first video and this segment doesn't apply to you, skip to this timestamp to miss my jokes and ruin my watch time. First, you gotta choose a video creation software. But remember, this is meant to be a nest egg that makes the balloons, not loses the balloons. And I've lost all faith in the phrase, you gotta spend money to make money, ever since I saw a man use it as a reason to pre-order the $200 version of GTA 6. So for a free video editing software, mine and my animation teacher's recommendation actually goes to Blender. Yeah, I know it has problems compared to the big boys, and its hotkey layout will permanently ruin your muscle memory for any other software. But for zero smackaroons, I will gladly tolerate using G to move clips around. Furthermore, Blender is constantly getting updated, so who knows? In a few years, it might be leagues above where it is now. But if you're willing to dish out some dollars, then I cannot give any higher recommendation than to Adobe Premiere. Ew, not that one. Yeah! I've been using Adobe Premiere Elements 2016 since the 3rd grade, and have never felt the need for anything else. First, unlike Premiere Pro, which requires an overpriced subscription service, you only gotta pay once for Premiere Elements. Hey there. Editing Spamule here at like 12 a.m. because apparently the 2016 version of Adobe Elements is like impossible to buy now, and the new version of Elements is like a stupid 3-year license with most of the features removed because Adobe is a horrible, evil company. So while I don't condone it... Next, I am of the opinion that as long as you can manipulate the location, rotation, scale, opacity, and blurriness of a video, along with having access to a chroma key and a garbage mask, you already have the tools you need to make pretty much anything you want. The only advantage that Pro has over Elements is that Pro automatically steals your art to feed Adobe's AI. While with Elements, you'd have to go in and do that manually. This is a pretty big downside though, because while flesh and bones will rot with time, steel is eternal. Nice! After doing additional research, you've picked your editing software. Now to choose a topic. Your first video does not have to decide the future of your channel. The first video is meant to prove that you can get a final product out the door. So don't spend the next 13 days trying to come up with a perfect idea. And I'm guessing whatever you come up with will probably fall into one of these categories. Commentary, playing sports, tabletop, and video games, or showing off a skill. But whatever you pick, you still want to find a way of incorporating your strengths into your work. If you can't write a joke for the life of you, but are good at improv, something more unscripted might be more your style. Want to animate but tire of drawing quickly? It might be worth it to learn rigging. But remember, no matter what, this is the internet. You are no longer the art kid. You're a art kid. You're no longer the theater kid. You're a theater kid. You're no longer the gamer. And if you only play Apex and League of Legends, you're not even a gamer, boy. What I'm trying to say is that playing to your strengths will make the video production process a lot easier. But no matter what you do, it has probably been done again and again and again. At least in some form. And you ain't out pizzaing the hut. Which is why you need to stop overthinking things, use that decent idea you probably already got, which is hopefully reasonable to complete within 2 weeks, and get started. Now you're on to collecting footage and recording your video, and this can be more of a headache than it seems. Want to make a video essay that relies mostly on pirated stock footage and Google Images? Great! Now you need a mic. I personally use a HA/UMP/5. The pros of which being that it's small and easy to use, provides good enough quality, and while still being pricey, usually won't break triple digits. Its cons, however, are that it took me like 4 months of struggle to actually get it working properly, and almost another year before I figured out how to use it with headphones. Along with this, while the audio is fine, and its background noise reduction is great, the quality isn't the best, and I swear this thing has a mind of its own when it comes to regulating volume. Now if your channel's live action, unless you're willing to shell out the big bucks, get used to frustrating aspect ratios and lots of audio to video syncing. Great, your voice is recorded, and through the use of stock content, custom PNGs or MP4s, but definitely not https://en4.onlinevideoconverter.pro/, which I have displayed here, so you don't accidentally use it. You now have everything you need to start the hardest part of video production. Editing. Yes, the thing that mega famous YouTube stars with decades of experience pay thousands of dollars on for teams focused entirely on that specific task. With the craziest part being that editing is easy. Not only do you not need to pay for an editor, for the majority of your needs, YouTube tutorials can teach you everything you need to know in less than an hour. Can you move clips?
Yes.
Can you cut clips?
Yes!
Congratulations, because now all you need is a title, a clickbaity thumbnail, and your first video is done. Whoa, that took way longer than I wanted. Remember when I said that this video was supposed to be about what you can learn from my YouTube experience? Well, there goes a chunk of the video. Thankfully, though, I am now in the perfect place to talk about progression. But I'm not talking about the progression of the very real wealth, fame, and girls that come with YouTube. I'll get to that later. I mean, the progression of your content over time and the path I chose. You could focus entirely on the progression of your views and channel identity, studying trends and capitalizing on them, creating long-term series that have multiple entries, then finding what works and directing all your efforts onto that. You could also focus heavily on the progression of your consistency. Not only the consistency of your video's quality, but the consistency around when you upload. You may even go from consistent uploads every month to consistent uploads every day. But I chose one of the many other options, which was to prioritize the progression of my skills and density through experimentation. Now, the prior two strategies I mentioned allow a creator's skills to develop through repetition. Your 50th Minecraft Let's Play is bound to be far better than your first. However, while this approach increases your skills for your most commonly created content, it heavily limits the types of videos you can create as your skill set becomes specialized rather than generalized. And in the creative space, where ideas sometimes feel more valuable than actual gold, that can be a problem. Every single video I make, I try to at least do or learn something new. Sometimes this can be small, such as basing a full video off some wacky gimmick, learning a new editing trick, or messing around with pacing. Other times, though, the change will be as radical as learning a new software or completely redoing how I go about gathering footage. This has the huge benefit of greatly increasing my skills over time, to the point where length and showing my face are now the only two factors I really consider when deciding what videos to create. But the most glaring problem with this ideology is that a lot of my content is wildly inconsistent. Because I encourage myself to try most ideas that pop into my head, I have videos from months ago which I can't stand, and others which are years old that I still consider to be some of my best work. Another problem is that I can never truly commit to a successful idea. All some YouTubers need is one hit to dictate the entirety of their future content and even possibly their career. But for me, it might be months before I revisit a similar idea, and by then, the people who latched onto the original have most likely already moved on. Finally, most other strategies may actually decrease the time between uploads, but this one actually does the opposite, as the piling up of various and sometimes unrelated skills jacks up production time immensely. Still, the benefits of this system should not be overlooked. In just 2 years, I've gone from a stick figure talking about Skylanders to having multiple 3D characters who I can bend to my whim. And throughout all that time in the middle, I've been able to improv, animate, speculate, and more, without having to worry about how my audience would react to the change. Not only because my audience is practically non-existent, but because the few people who decided to stick around not only accepted, but embraced the changes from video to video. And just like how there are a near infinite amount of ways to tackle progression and planning your videos, the same is true for creating them as well. For me though, I think you can separate my content into 3 main parts. The main point or heart of my videos, that usually being either a joke or an opinion, the skin or vehicle I use to convey those ideas, which is done through animation or editing, and the jingling keys, which is the only thing that's actually keeping people until the end. This goes along with my focus on variety, because for each video, I can simply choose one of those 3 to experiment with. However, this plan does have a major downside. I'll often spend only a day putting together my actual idea, and then spend a week working on its presentation. This flaw is only heightened by my straight-ahead workflow, which means that as soon as I finish the audio editing, I'm working through the rest of the video beginning to end. I don't get the bulk of the footage I need, and then start laying out the main pieces before working my way down to the smaller details. I get maybe around 15 seconds of footage, before then crafting every cut, transition, and visual gag on top of each other. Remember how I said video editing is easy? Well, not for me. For my most complex, non-animated videos, it usually takes from around 10 in the morning to 12 at night to complete a single minute of visuals. Ah yes, the joys of retention editing. You see, in my perfect world, every video is a Wardo's Wario Smash Ultimate montage. I love videos, which are stupidly fast, but also have something to say, a funny joke to tell, or a narrative worth experiencing. Unfortunately, most of the videos that can maintain the speed I like are just pure brain rot. I don't feel stimulated and engaged, I feel annoyed! So another tip I would like to share is to make your content reflect the videos that you like but rarely ever see. This is great because the second you do this, you'll suddenly find 50 new people who finally show up in your recommended, and suddenly realize how generic your taste is. Ugh. But back to the point. Choosing where you direct your efforts and understanding pacing can dramatically affect your video's appeal and your workflow. Are you tired of all this hyper-paced garbage and want to make it more calm and thoughtful? Then I hope you like writing essays, because the majority of your time will be front-loaded during the concept and scripting stages. But if you understand that something can be a meme and meaningful simultaneously, and want to create something that keeps your viewers on their toes with zippity-quick pacing, prepare to suck up serving some undercooked ideas and scripts, because you'll be spending most of your time executing those concepts and jingling the metaphorical keys. So you've done it. You've made your first video, decided what you want to focus on as your channel progresses, and have a good idea about how you want to go about doing it. Now what's next? What do you get for your hard work, your hours of dedication? Well, I don't know. Unfortunately, probably nothing. With so many roads to take, and ways to take them, I can't speak on how the world will react to your art. I can only speak on how it's reacted to mine. Okay, and we're recording! Yay! Okay, so this last section here is really just gonna be me going over some of the stuff I talked on the video, but from kind of a more just unscripted and personal take, because a lot of it I didn't get to go into as quite as much detail as I wanted, and I also just want to address how I'm planning on dealing with this channel moving forward. But first, oh my god! This video, this video was something else. I was like, hey, I really want to start, taking this a little bit more slowly. I'll give myself like 2 months. That's like plenty of time. 16-minute video. I can crack that out in like 1 month. Are you kidding me? I was so wrong. I have never crunched this hard to get a video out before. It is so much. And that's what I should probably go into next. A lot of the advice I gave throughout the video, I think I did a good job. I think I did a fine job of balancing just general YouTube advice and personal content creation stuff. But if you just try to copy what I'm doing, it is too much. If you don't budge on deadlines, you're constantly adding new things, and you're attention editing. You're attention editing, one clip every 1 to 2 seconds. And just you saw the mountains. You saw the mountains. It's a lot. And I think it's funny, every time I talk about what I do, the downside is always that it just boosts production time immensely and makes making deadlines harder. But I did it! 2 years, and I did not miss a single deadline. In 85 videos, the deadline was always 1 video per week, unless the video went over 6 minutes or required making new 3D models. I think. Looking back through the videos and dates posted, I'm kind of confused on the math. But I'm pretty sure I did it. Anyways, just, if you're doing what I did, don't. Or at the very least, just be reasonable. Just keep it reasonable. All this YouTube stuff, it's a lot. So just... yeah, I'm going in circles. Anyway, the future of my content. Future of my videos. So... It's like I said, it's too much. Even for me, it's just getting to the point where with work and school and all of it, I cannot keep making videos at the pace I have been making videos. So, things are going to slow down. Unfortunately, I don't think my next video will be until, like, April of 2025, because that's when my final for my animation school, that's when that's going to be coming out, and I really want to spend these next few months hammering home, just learning a lot, and really making it how I want. I don't want to cut any corners with this. But I also don't want to completely leave everything hanging, because, like, a 2-month gap between this video and a 4-month gap between the next, that's a lot. Still probably gonna happen, but I might start trying some other ideas I've been having for this channel in the meantime, but most likely after. One thing I've been thinking about is something I'm calling a virtual storybook. It's like a picture book, so I get to use my animation and my modeling skills. Well, not animation, but my modeling, texturing, the 3D skills I've been learning. But because it'll be pictures and formatted like a book with narration in video form, I can hopefully practice a lot of the stuff I learned and also just cut down drastically on production time. Well, I still really want to do animation, so I think those might be a good little treat to hold people over while I work on, like, some actual bigger animations, some videos that I said I was gonna give myself time to breathe with this video, and it didn't work out, but I'm hoping if I do future videos, one I'm thinking is, like, going into some weird anomalies I found on YouTube, and, like, making a big video that I can really sink my teeth into, because there's so much to say. Little hint. The comments. Not like the comments under video, but like the comments tab where you make posts. There's a rabbit hole there. There's a bit of a mystery. Stuff I want to look into more. But if I do big videos with tons of animations, I really actually make a script instead of what I've always done and just give myself like a day or two to make the script and then I can't revise because I don't have time. I really want to make some stuff I can sink my teeth into. I really want to learn more, do more, but right now it's not feasible to do it as fast. I really need to slow down, focus on all my other work I got going on, and who knows, maybe one day this will work out. But if this video gets like 100,000 views, then yeah, sure. I have tried the thing where I click the button that says don't recommend to subscribers. I'm hoping that's like, doesn't do what it says, but like it helps. I don't know. If this video does insanely well, then maybe I'll go back to my normal schedule, but you know. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I've been yapping. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.